Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cami and on this channel we focus mainly on graphic design. Before we get started, could you please follow me on Instagram? That's where I post the most and that's where I interact the most. And what I post is my projects, some tips, reels about business and graphic design. So if that sounds interesting, please give me a follow. And today is a exciting day, I think. We're going to be rebranding Tampax Pearl Compact, and in my opinion the packaging for tampons and pads, I think, are quite depressing in my opinion. Having a period is not a fun experience, and having it on a monthly basis is awful. And I think tampons and pads should be more fun and playful and more inviting, and I feel like the current ones that they have is not doing that job. So looking at the Tampax Pearl Compact, I'll have a picture on the side. It's very blue, and I don't understand why, because a lot of pads use the colour blue for showing it's a product to use on the night because they're stronger and they can survive the night without, any mishaps. But for some reason, when looking on the shelf in the store, a lot of them use the colour blue, sometimes when they're not for the night. So with this packaging, they're using blue, and I have no idea why. They also showed the product, which I guess it's handing away, but we all know what it is. I don't think we need a picture of it anymore. I don't think it's doing anything positive. I think it's just it's not like it's a requirement. We all know what it is. They look exactly the same. Maybe the colour may be different, but this is not the selling point. And in my opinion, they're trying to go for like this sort of like an old style, I'd say, but not in like a good way. As you can see, one of them has like a inside view of what the packaging of the actual tampons is, and I can see they're trying to go for this playful and fun approach with this, but it's not really working out. I think it looks quite old, and it's still, the colours, even though I understand like the colours of like yellow is a very fun colour, I think the exact colour they use is really not there. But they tried, I guess, and I think just generally speaking, they definitely do need a rebrand that does, is more fun and inviting. As you can tell they're trying, but in my opinion, they're not really succeeding. And yeah, so let's get started into this and fix up the packaging, as I think it definitely does need to become more inviting, because like I said before, periods are not a fun thing to have. So as always, we start with a mood board. I always start with a Pinterest board, then I minimize into Illustrator with a couple of photos. So this is what I have here. I like to keep it on Illustrator because just to keep my inspirational juices flowing, and whenever I need to look at it, I don't need to leave Illustrator. So here you can see the colours. The colours are obviously very bright and definitely inviting. I really like the ones, as you can see, some of them have the text that is quite big and it's like the main focus point of the packaging. And I think this is something that could work very well with this brand. I also really like the Verta, I'm gonna say that's the name, and I like the background of this. I really like those flowy lines. I think it's just speaking to me. I can't exactly describe what it is, but it feels very inviting due to its rounded shapes. I also like these colours here, the greens and the pale pinks. This is something that we could definitely explore more into. So yeah, let's get started into the logo. And the first step that I do is, obviously I want to change the whole brand, so we're going to change the typography and the logo. Currently what they have is a typography logo, and we're going to stick with a typography logo. I think typography logos, in my opinion, I just really enjoy creating them, and this definitely is fitting for the brand. So I start with a black and white logo to see how everything works. I don't add any colour, as colour can distract me from basically what is happening, and we want to ensure that it works in black and white. So here you can see the black and whites and the choices that I have, and I am swaying towards the middle one. I really like the P on that. I think it's very inviting, and it just seems rather playful as well. It's nothing too serious. I think the top one is too serious and the bottom one is not catching my attention as much. And then you can also see that the Pearl Compact is a different font as well. I really wanted to go for a bit of what is it called, calligraphy, and yeah. So the next step is choosing, which I obviously chose the middle one, as it's speaking to me, and I think when you know, you know, and this one was definitely the one. It's definitely playful, it's bold, it's out there, and that's what we want. And then with the colours, I chose some of the colours from my mood board before, and it's this creamy colour for the Tampax, and the Pearl Compact is this pink colour. And you can see that I've already created that here, and you can see all the versions here, and like I said, I'm going to be choosing the middle one. But what I did here is move the Pearl Compact on top of the P, as I thought it just added some interest. Obviously, if this was kept black, this would not be really readable, but it would always be kept in a different colour. So here you can see I'm starting to create this colour palette now that I know exactly what I'm going with, and I'm really liking the colours that I've chosen here, and I just want to expand on more colours. And as you can see, I have a couple neutrals, and then I have the pinks, the lighty green colour, and the yellow. And here you can see all the variations of the colours right here. And I am in love with the green and the cream colours. They're definitely my favourite. And one of the things I thought could be a very fun thing to do, which could potentially fit with the brand, is having this sunburst effect. And here you can see the process of this. And I think the original packaging is trying to go for this bit of a, I'm not too sure when it was created, but in my opinion it's trying to go into the vintage direction, but they didn't modernize it to what would be, what would be appropriate to now, where it's vintage modern combined together rather than vintage old. Even though it's the same thing, there's a bit of a difference. When you think of vintage nowadays, it's more modern and it's more tasteful. So I think this sunburst effect could go for the same sort of vibe that they seem to be going in, where you have this vintage effect, but you would also have the modern side of it. And this could potentially be like the side or the back, depending on what is on the back, but it's something that could be considered as a pattern. Definitely too much to have text on top, as it's too distracting. So potentially on one of the sides, if it's an empty side, this could work. Or maybe on the inside of the box, that could be a very interesting thing. Or on the actual tampon packaging itself, because they are packaged as well, if you don't know. If you're a male and you haven't had to use them, wouldn't know why you would, but just in case. So yeah, this could be a fun idea for this. And the next thing that I do is start on the actual packaging. So I go onto the mock-up and see the sizes of the side and the front. And yeah, you can see I've moved the actual logo on here, and I'm trying to create these tear drops, which basically state how much protection this has. And unfortunately I lost some of the content. I'm not too sure what happened, but as you can see, what I've added is a couple wavy lines that was in one of the Pinterest examples, mood boards. They had these wavy lines, although they were solid. I wanted to go in the same direction, so I went for these singular lines that go in a wavy line, and I thought this could work very well. And as you can see, I have two variations. As before I stated, I really enjoy the green and I enjoy the creams, so that's what I ended up with. I think it's good to have, you know, a couple variations of what we could go with. And yeah, I kept the important information on that would be required, what they already had, and I thought was quite important. So yeah, this is the sides, and this is the packaging. And as you can see on this side, you have also the silent wrapper. And the packaging that I'm using is looking rather luxury, and I think going with the colours, like especially the cream does look rather luxury in my opinion, and the green is I think it's attracting more of the younger population, the young girls. So yeah, I'm so happy with this. I'm really proud of how this turned out. And yeah, I think it was a very fun project. I think it definitely needed a rebranding, as it's definitely not keeping up with, you know, now. And I think the packaging that I've designed is more inviting, it's more friendly, and I think it's more reassuring. I think it's not something that looks quite old in a more of a grandma style rather than a cool vintage style. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I'm so happy. I will see you guys next time. In the meantime, please go check me out on Instagram. Links in the description. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, please give it a comment, give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!